All right, good morning, traders. Today it's April 15th, it's tax day, 2026. My name is Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for subscribing to my content, following my content, liking my content. Special shout out to all of those that share my content, helping get the good word out there to the World Wide Web. Talking about Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, Ed Carter, Rick Sadler, everybody that helps get the good word out there. Let's take a look at the markets this morning, see what we got. I think I got one announcement this morning, and that is on the members e-learning. I think that's today, isn't it? Yeah, I think. No, tomorrow. Members e-learning is tomorrow at noon. If you're looking for me here in the room, I'll be in the combo room. How to get to the combo room? Let's see if I got it up here. Just a second. All right. So you go over your members page. Oh, not even logged in. Hold on. Anyways, you go over your members page, you hit the combo room. All right, come over here to BYOB member page. Right here, this is where you'd log into the BYOB Trading Room. This is right here is where you log into the combo room. You click that, opens up another room. All right, you can have two rooms open at the same time. I will, however, be in the combo room probably from noon till 3, so probably won't even be broadcasting. So probably just want to come on over there and join us. Topics are going to be trend, momentum, and volatility. I hope you join us. If you're looking for these recordings, and they will be recorded more than likely, you'll find them under the resources tab. You come down here to e-learning replay. All right, and you can see these are our past e-learning for members, as well as many others. There's 10 per page. We got about 35 pages of 10, so there's 350 videos on there. I mean, and if that's not enough videos, we'll take another, get the public webinar. All right, and on the public webinars, we got 10 on those pages, and we got 20 pages of 10 there. So there's another 200 videos. So there's about 550 videos between the e-learning and the public webinar, all right, in case you're interested. All right, so that's it. Tomorrow, trend, momentum, and volatility. It's going to start at noon. Probably going to run right on up till 3. Hopefully we get it recorded. All right, let's take a look at what happened in the market yesterday. My SPY pivot this morning, 691.05. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 made higher highs, higher lows, closing over bullish traps, and over their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend, 10-minute uptrend. Gold made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Silver did the same thing. USO, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17. UNG never fails to disappoint us. Made a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17. US dollar index in a daily downtrend and closed near the 98.10 area. SPY max pain 692 with a put to call ratio of about 1.9 puts for each call that expires today at 4:15. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15. Security options expire at 4. All right, let's take a look. Oh, by the way, if all of these right here, these are all, if you've never seen this before, these are all in daily uptrends over the 17. These are in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. All right, if they got a little star next to it, they're building out a bull flag. I call it a launch pad to launch higher. If they got a little dash, means they already had the breakout. All right, so over the 17, these are under the 17. Again, if they've got a little star next to it, they're building out a bear flag, or I call it a platform from which to dive lower. All right, let's take a look at the market. All right, you can see right here, we ended the day, 10-minute chart. Got the 3 and the sticks plotting up over the 8 EMA. Not a whole lot of daylight there. Kind of signaling the bears are ready to make an attack. Price action here is 10-minute uptrend. You got a little bit of daylight there between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA, all up over VWAP. So 10-minute bullish consolidation, 10-minute uptrend coming into the close last night. Let's take a look at the 2-hour chart. Okay, you can see the sticks and the 3 plotting up over the rising 8. You got daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. We got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily candle, all of them got a higher high, a higher low, closed over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. So there's a SPY on the daily chart. We'll put the quad lines on there, and I'll zoom way out so you can see the origin of the move. It all starts back here in April as we go up and over. Let's put the quad lines in. You can see we're at the top of quadrant 4, and we finally made a higher high. So on the daily chart, we are bullish and in an uptrend. That's on SPY. On the weekly chart, still going to make a higher high up here. All right, it's getting close. Still going to make a higher high way up here. Well, if they take out that, I say that all the time. But if they get up here and make a brand new all-time high, weekly chart will have an uptrend. Right now, yeah, it's bullish, dysfunctional downtrend in that price is not moving down. They got a low here, they made a lower low, so now they got to make a higher high. So dysfunctional downtrend, price not moving down, price moving up on SPY on the weekly chart. Monthly chart, never got in a downtrend, still in an uptrend, has not made a lower low yet. So bullish and in an uptrend on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at QQQ and start with the 10-minute chart. You can see the sticks and the 3 plotting up over the rising 8 or the melting up 8 EMA. So we've got daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. So we got ourselves a little 10-minute uptrend coming into the close, looking like bullish consolidation to me. 10-minute uptrend, 2-hour chart. Shows us the sticks and the 3 plotting up over the 8. A lot of daylight there between the 3 and the 8 EMA. All right, got ourselves a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close on the daily candle. Just like SPY, higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap over the hooking 17 EMA. Okay, let's put the quad lines on there. I don't know how they disappeared. Here we go. All right, price action up here over the uptrend line. That's this green line here. We're up over the pink line. That would be the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, we're at the top of quadrant 4. We're bullish. We have a high here. We made a higher high. So we're in an uptrend. So bullish and in an uptrend. This would be the origin of the rally back here in April. All right, we come up over to the right. So looking ready to stage another attack for an all-time high. So this is QQQ daily chart, bullish and in an uptrend. Take a look at FNGU. Going to take this off. FNGU, higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap, over the hooking 17, okay, over the midpoint. I'm going to just say it, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. This is the all-time low, the all-time high. We are not in the upper third. We're not in the lower third. We're neutral. We're right in the middle of the ground here. There's a high. We made a higher high. So we're neutral and in an uptrend here on Stinker. All right, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Again, higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Right here in the middle of quadrant 4, that's going to be bullish. In that dysfunctional downtrend, have not made a higher high. Not yet, all right? There's still time. Let's take a look at IWM. And back here, this would be the origin of the move. Back here, April, up. You can see price action here for IWM. A higher low, higher high, closed over a bullish trap, closed over the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. There's a high. We made a higher high and in an uptrend. Okay, IWM bullish and an uptrend. SPY bullish and in an uptrend. QQQ bullish and in an uptrend. All right, and IWM bullish and in an uptrend. FNGU neutral and in an uptrend. Okay, Diamond Dow bullish. All right, but in that dysfunctional downtrend, in that price is not moving down, it's moving up or over to the right. All right, let's take a look at precious metals. Silver and gold both made higher highs and higher lows, closing over bullish traps and over their flat 17. So higher high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the flat 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP here for silver. It's neutral and in an uptrend for silver. Let's take a look at gold. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, over that flat 17. We're in the bottom of quadrant 4. We're under the all-time high anchored VWAP. So we're bullish up here in quadrant 4. We made higher highs, so we're in an uptrend on gold. Let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO got a lower high, a lower low. We closed under a bearish trap. We closed, I don't know if we're under the 17 or not. 17, 2405. We closed under the 17 EMA. Closed in the bottom of quadrant 4. I'm going to pan way out here. So that's going to be bullish up there. We haven't made any lower lows, so we're still in an uptrend. So bullish in an uptrend on USO. You can see price. Here's the origin of that rally back here in 2023. This is a 4-year high anchored VWAP. You can see we're way up there in the nosebleed section up here in quadrant 4, this USO. Let's take a look at UNG, which never fails to disappoint us. Lower high, lower low, closed under a bearish trap. Under that falling 17 EMA, under that 1 year high anchored VWAP right there. Bottom of quadrant, this is the all-time low right here. Bottom of quadrant 1, that's going to be bearish because it's in the lower third. All right, bearish, and obviously you see a low and a lower low and in a downtrend on UNG. That's the daily chart for UNG. All right, let's take a look at our technicals. Start off with T2101 right here. You can see price action melted up yesterday. All right, and you can see participation or absolute breadth increased. That is a good sign. That's the bulls are in town, showing me some bullish behavior, and that is the right sentiment. I want to see more people pile into the markets when the markets get bullish. We don't want to see is when the markets are bearish and more people are piling in for a bearish market. Okay, right now T2101 increase in market breadth here with participation, and you can see us gapping up, gap up here, gap up here, gap up here, gap up here. The participation just continues to increase here as we get up near next to the all-time highs once again. All right, so that's T2101, T2122. We camped out in the overbought zone all day yesterday. That's another bullish clue right there. So T2101, bullish clue. T2122, another bullish clue. T2123. All right, you can see right here we gapped up yesterday. Bears never filled the gap. All right. Gaps are normally magnetic, all right? And you can see the bears, along with the magnetism of the open gap, still failed to close the gap down here. T2123, bulls pushed it up and held it the higher ground up here, okay? That's like planking for, well, 6.5 hours right there. That is a bullish behavior. The bulls are in charge. The bulls are in town until they're not, okay? We may get a pullback today. We'll see how far it pulls back, but we may get a pullback as we are. We're in the overbought zone earlier, all right, back here on T2122. We were in the overbought zone, not to mention on the PPO, and I will display that in a minute, is making a bearish divergence, all right? So T2123, We're up over the hooking 200 SMA. Hey, that's where you want to be if you're a bull. All right, you got a bullish gap up. There's another bullish clue. Hold the higher ground. There's another bullish clue. Bulls are in charge right now. Okay, they may give up. They may give up a little bit today, but they're in control until they're not. Okay, T2123 15-minute chart. You got a high. You got a higher high, so that's an uptrend. All right, now this is the all-time high right there. We're going to slap some quad lines in, and you're going to see we're in the neutral area. Okay, so this is the 50-yard line right here in the middle. That's the all-time high. That's the pullback low. Okay, we're no longer in quadrant 1. That would be bearish. We're up here in quadrant. We're up here. Yeah, we're up here in quadrant 3. So we're neutral and in an uptrend. If you're interested from the all-time high to the pullback low. If you take it from just the pullback low, well, you can see clearly we're up here in quadrant 4, so we're bullish and in an uptrend from that perspective. From the bigger perspective, one more time, right here, all right, we're neutral and in an uptrend on T2123. 3-bar chart, I'm going to take this off. 3-bar chart, we are climbing on top of the rising 200 SMA. It's where you want to be if you're going to be a bull. All right, I'm going to back way out. This is the April origin of our rally back here. See, price goes up, makes a new all-time high for the calendar year of 2025. As a pullback, we produce a higher low. From the higher low, we rip and make a new all-time high for the calendar year of 2026. Okay, we pulled back. We stayed up here in quadrant 4. You know that's bullish for me. We're trying to climb up on top of that rising 200 SMA. You know, if you're a bull, that's where you want to be, is on top of the 200 SMA. So this is the 3-bar chart. We are in a dysfunctional downtrend because we got a low, a low, a low, a low. Okay, so we left off, we're making lows until we make a higher high, which is way up here, okay? We're still stuck in that downtrend. Here's the good news. It's a dysfunctional downtrend in that price isn't moving down, it's moving to the right or it's melting up. So dysfunctional downtrend, all right, middle of quadrant 4, so that's bullish dysfunctional downtrend for T2123 3-bar chart. Stinker on the 15. Bullish gap up, all right? That's bulls making highs. You can see there's a high here. We got a high here. We're making higher highs. So that's in an uptrend right there, okay? So from this perspective of this pullback low right there, okay, you can see we're bullish and in an uptrend. Now, if we encompass more time, not quite back to the all-time high, you can see price action up here. See if I can get any more time in there. Not quite. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. So right up here, bullish in an uptrend based on the 15-minute chart. You can see we're up over that 200 SMA. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. You're up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's where you want to be if you're a bull. Price action here on the bigger time frame, I believe, is just neutral. But just from the 15, from this high back to this low, we are, see the high right here, we're making a new pivot high. So we're bullish and in an uptrend now on FNGU on the 15-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at the economic package. And we'll start off with Max Payne, 692. Put to call ratio, 1.9. Max Payne usually comes into play on Friday. We'll see what happens. We may get a pullback to 692. We'll see what happens with that today. Earnings calendar. Got a lot of earnings. Let's go ahead and do the economic. All right, economic calendar for today. We've got MBA mortgage applications comes out at 7. Empire State Manufacturing Index 8:30. Import-export prices 8:30. Housing Market Index 10 o'clock. Petroleum inventories and status report That comes out at 10:30. Beige book at 2. Tomorrow, jobless claims 8:30. Philly Fed manufacturing index 8:30. Industrial production 9:15. Natural gas inventories and status report at 10:30 right there. We will tackle Friday when we get closer to it. There's not much scheduled for Friday right there. On the earnings calendar, the banks have been reporting this week. Banks have been reporting pretty good, I think, from what I've seen. All right, for today, we've got ASML Holdings coming out this morning. That's half a trillion dollars there. Bank of America, $381 billion. Morgan Stanley E-Trade, $186 billion. Progressive Corporation, $116 billion. PNC Financial, $89 billion. So a whole lot of financials reporting this morning. I believe the XLF is in an uptrend. Let's take a peek and see if we can dig that out for just a second. Okay, let's take a look at, just for a second, XLF. Because we got so many financials reporting this week, might as well take a look at the sector, see how it's doing. Okay, so this is the sector on a daily candle. You can see we're definitely not up here in the bullish quadrant 4. Trying to break into the upper third. We're about there. But you can see since the beginning of April, kind of like the rest of the market, we've been rallying up most of those days. Okay, so we've got a long way to go before we start putting in higher highs. All right, I think the first high we come to is right here. It's close. All right, you can see the financials are working their way up. If you want a robust rally, this is the April low. If you want a really robust rally, you kind of want, you're going to want the financials. You're going to want the transports. Okay, transports is IYT. No, transport's bullish. And not quite the uptrend yet. Not quite. All right, well, if you want to call that an uptrend based on that one candle pullback right there. Not quite an uptrend. You could call it an uptrend if you want to split hairs, all right? But IYT bullish up here in quadrant 4. That's looking good up over that anchored VWAP. So transport's looking good. And then you want SMH, that would be technology or the XLF. SMH, either SMH or technology XLK. So here's SMH. Obviously making new all-time highs right here. So that's obviously bullish in an uptrend right there. Okay, so there's SMH is looking good. Like I said, XLF. Trying to break into the upper quadrant here. Up a third. All right, not quite there yet. Getting there. Definitely in a dysfunctional downtrend and moving up. And what was the last one was the transports, was the IYT, which is up in quadrant 4, so that's bullish right there. And up over that all-time high anchored VWAP. That's real nice there. And splitting hairs, they're in an uptrend. Not much, but you can see splitting hairs, they're in that uptrend. They really need to take this out up here to really prove it. All right, so that's where we're at there with the robust rally. It's coming to a theater near you. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Tomorrow for earnings, we got Taiwan Semiconductor. Hey, that's about $2 trillion. That's a whole lot of market cap, okay? There's a lot of stocks that wish they had $2 trillion in market cap. All right, so that's probably going to be a market mover. That's probably going to be a headliner for this week, along with, of course, you know, we've had some big numbers, some big ones, big boys report earlier. Goldman Sachs reported Monday. Tuesday we had J.P. Morgan Chase. That's three quarters of a trillion there, or better than 3/4. We got ASML Holdings going to report today. Bank of America 381. Taiwan Semiconductor, by far the one with the most market cap, that's going to be reporting this week. So we'll see what they do. Again, if you're looking for the tip of the spear, all right, it's going to be technology, all right. So, and it's probably going to be the semiconductors. It's probably either going to be NVIDIA, all right, or AMD or Intel or any of those chip makers, Taiwan Semiconductor, any of those, all right, they're going to be the tip of the spear to lead us through this next wave higher if we're going higher. All right, so there's Thursday. That's tomorrow in the morning, a little bit different. Usually tech reports at night. This will be different. Tech's going to report in the morning. Netflix, $435 billion. They're going to report in the evening. PepsiCo, $213 billion. They're going to report in the evening. Abbott Labs, 175 in the evening. Charles Schwab, some more financials, 168 in the evening. In the morning. All right. The only one that's in the evening is Netflix. If I said in the evening, I meant that's only for Netflix right there. Okay. Bank of New York Mellon. All right. $88 billion. Prologis, $127 billion. See what we got for Friday. A whole lot of financials reporting Friday. Nothing here that's going to be market moving. Just a whole lot of financials that probably belong in the KRE. All right, let's take a look at the game plan. All right, let's see what we got. All right, this is SPY game plan for today. We got green erases red over 694.60. We got the pivot, 691.05. Above it bullish, below it bearish. Red erases green under 687.65. Had a bullish gap up yesterday, and the bulls held the higher ground up here. All right, we are showing overbought right here, but that does not mean we have to leave. We can stay up here all day. Actually, we can stay up here three or 4 days. Okay, it would be a rare occurrence, but it can happen. All right, so that's where we're at with that. Now let's go back over here. All right, on the bearish divergence, I said I would show it to you. So let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. We're going to pull up the PPO. All right, so we can see the bearish divergence. Okay, so you can see right here. All right, there's your high over here. Okay, we're making higher highs. So we actually should be moving higher with the PPO, but we're not. We're moving down. All right, so there's a high. We made a higher high, but yet the PPO is down here, showing us bearish divergence right there. So this on the 15-minute chart. This would be the 30-minute chart. Okay, this would be the hourly chart. You can see a high, and then we got a lower high as we make another higher high. So we got that bearish divergence. I wanted to show you that. Said you were looking for it. So, well, you didn't say you were looking for it, but I wanted to show it to you so you can see it in real time. So on the 10-minute chart, okay, so we got last night's consolidation. We got this morning's consolidation. All of this is bullish. I'm going to say we're bullish till we're not. Okay, but if we happen to break post-market, pre-market lows, or this low right here where we pulled back at 692.26, which happens to also be max pain. Okay, if we get below this one or that one with a downtrend, I'd be interested in trading it to the downside. All right, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. That's my plan for this morning. Other than that, we break out over these highs. I'm looking for a 10-minute uptrend to trade the breakout to the upside. We'll see what happens. This is bullish up here, holding this higher ground. So the plan is to trade the breakout of the range. And the range is right here. The high right there. What's that high? Okay, so 695.10. Okay, and the low, $693.05. Okay, that's my range. So So looking for a breakout of the range to trade for another break up higher or lower. Okay, if we break out on the top side, I'm looking for new all-time highs. If we break out on the bottom side, I'm looking for a gap fill way back here, or at least to the beginning of the open gap, which would be 688, right about there. Yeah, right about 687.50, that area. All right, that's it for me, traders. I'll see you all in 45 minutes. All right, we'll open up the markets together.